In this video today, we're going to be talking through the meeting options that we have recently released in Microsoft Teams. So whether you're having a large town hall, maybe you're having a division or agency-wide training, team meeting, etc., you can now manage and have a few more a bit of more control over your meeting as the organizer. So when I come in, I'm going to schedule a new meeting, top right-hand corner. I'm going to invite the participants. So Deborah is going to be one of my presenters, as well as Nestor. And then I'm going to invite the other individuals. I have a few optional attendees. I'm going to set the day and time of my training. It's not going to be a repeating, it's not going to be a recurring. So I'm going to send that. And here it shows up. So as the organizer, I've scheduled my training. Let's say that it is a division-wide training. We're going to have 2 presenters, and we're going to have, say, 850 people we are expected to join. Well, as you can imagine, with that many people, maybe you don't want everybody coming in on video or coming in unmuted, and you don't want to have to spend the time managing those housekeeping items. You can work to control your meeting experience a little bit more as the organizer. One thing I'll mention, the meeting, an interactive Teams meeting will now hold up to 1,000 users, internal or external to your organization. So I've scheduled and established the meeting. So when I double click into it, now it's time to adjust my meeting options to make sure I have the right level of privacy and control around my meeting. So as you saw, I clicked on, just going back to that, if you follow my yellow mouse, I clicked on the meeting options here under the details tab of the meeting. Real quick spoiler alert. You see Whiteboard. Whiteboard has made it into the government cloud. We're also excited about that. But here, so we are in the meeting options. And as you can see, we have a lot of additional options here. So who can bypass the lobby? Lobby's pretty straightforward. What that is if you have a large scale training, maybe you have some internal and external people that are going to be participating in this. Maybe it's a new virtual new hire onboarding session. You want to make sure nobody that's not invited joins. So you want to put that lobby setting in place. These are the different options here. A lot of times what I do, say if I was conducting a training, I would choose me to be the only person to bypass the lobby. And then what I would do is I would come in, the who can present is really important. So by default, an organizer has full rights to a meeting. And then by default, as you see here, everyone is a presenter in an interactive Teams meeting by default. But maybe you don't want everybody to have a presenter role, because a presenter role can admit people from the lobby. If they're internal to your organization, they can start and stop the recording. They can remove people. They can upgrade or downgrade people to attendees or presenters. So a presenter really does have a lot of rights in an interactive Teams meeting. So you definitely want to downgrade everybody, or everybody except for a few specific people, to attendees. An attendee in an interactive Teams meeting they can basically just watch, and they can disable, they can unmute their microphone or turn on their video or chat if you allow it. And we're going to talk through that. So here I'm the only person that could bypass the lobby initially. And then I'm going to set who can present to specific people, because as you remember, Deborah as well as Nestor are my two co-presenters in this. And so they are going to come into this meeting as a presenter along with me as the organizer. And then everybody else is going to come in as an attendee. So when you downgrade people from presenters to attendees, all of these options down below here are where you can adjust and kind of restrict attendee permissions. So I'm not going to allow the attendees to unmute their microphone. I'm not going to allow the attendees to turn on their camera. You can choose this to automatically record. So maybe if you're having a training and you're scared that you're going to forget to initiate the record, you can toggle that on, and whoever first joins the meeting, that would be you. You would come in, you'd be the only person that could bypass the lobby. Then that recording will automatically start for you. And you can also come in here and set specifics around the meeting chat. So you can have it enabled like it is traditionally, where you can chat before, during, or after a meeting. You can choose to disable chat completely if you're concerned that you have 900 people that are going to join this session and you don't want it to be dinging every few seconds with questions or collaboration. You can disable it, or you can choose in meeting only. So chat will be fully functioning in the meeting. And then after the meeting, it will live in the chat section of the Teams client, but you will not be able to initiate any new chats outside of the meeting organizer. So it's really nice that the folks can see the chat history. They just can't continue to chat. And of course you can, we have emoji reactions now. So what that is in addition to raise hand, you can have those nonverbal cues with someone speaking or presenting on something, and the folks may react with a heart or a clapping or a thumbs up emoji. So that's those reactions. You can toggle them off if you need to. But this is just the basics for the meeting options, and this is really, really beneficial, especially where you can restrict camera and microphone and really dig into what's going to work best for you with the meeting chat. When you hit and you get the meeting options the way you want them, you choose save. Since this was not a recurring meeting, anytime you schedule, in which I can close this, I've saved it, and now I can close this. Anytime you schedule a new meeting that is not recurring, if you need to tweak those meeting options, you have to do it every time, because especially in the virtual world we're living in and the hybrid work scenarios, every meeting is different. So we expect you to adjust those meeting options as you need to. If it's a recurring meeting, you only have to set them once, and then at that point you can you don't have to change them again unless you need to. The last part that I want to mention, you can set those meeting options before the meeting starts, but you can also set them during the meeting if you need to. So if you forget the meeting options, not a huge deal. You can, when you hit join here, you can come in as the meeting organizer, of course. And what you notice is where I set that auto record, this automatically started recording my meeting for me because I had set the auto record. So that's really nice. You can see that banner there. That banner is going to be for everyone to see. But if you're the meeting option or the meeting organizer, you can come in here to the three dots, hit meeting options, and then you can adjust these on the fly as well. So make your changes, hit save, and it will pick that up automatically. And the last thing I want to say is the good news is if you set the microphones to disabled or the camera to disabled and say after the training you want to open it up so everybody can come off of mute and verbally ask a question. When you click on the participant panel here up at the top, when people join, there will be buttons that say enable microphone, enable camera, and you can do that for everyone, or you can do it individually here by clicking the 3 dots. So let's see if I can just get Deborah to join me really quickly. So as she's joining in, so now I see her. So if she was an attendee, if I downgrade her, you can downgrade people and upgrade people seamlessly on the fly during your meeting. So for example, if you had an external participant that was also going to be a presenter, you couldn't select them initially. So you would have to upgrade them. Once they came in as an attendee, you could upgrade them to a presenter, just like I did when I downgraded Deborah. But here, this is where you can individually. So if somebody raises their hand and you didn't want to unmute everyone's microphone, but you only wanted to unmute a specific person or allow their camera, this is where you do that from the attendee role by the 3 dots next to their name. And then this is, of course, how you could upgrade someone to a presenter immediately on the fly. So that does conclude the session for today on meeting options. Do hope you found this beneficial, and I hope you have a nice day. Thanks.